All right, what's up, everybody? You know what time it is. We're about to drop some serious travel knowledge on you. We're talking about Copenhagen, baby. This city is like the cool kid in Scandinavia, rocking that old world charm with a side of modern edge. Think cobblestone streets, cozy cafes, canals that look like they're straight out of a fairy tale, and a vibe that's just impossible not to love. We're talking seriously beautiful architecture, some next-level delicious food, and a culture that's all about enjoying life to the fullest. We're not holding back. This video is your ultimate guide to the top 10 things you absolutely have to see and do in Copenhagen. So if you're planning a trip, buckle up because we're about to dive headfirst into everything this amazing city has to offer. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's do this thing. Copenhagen, here we come. First up, we got to start with the OG Copenhagen icon, the one and only Little Mermaid. Now, this isn't some giant over-the-top spectacle, okay? She's small, she's perched on a rock, but there's a certain magic to her. It's like this tiny bronze figure captures the essence of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale in a way that just draws you in.
See, the Little Mermaid has been sitting there on a rock since 1913 and she's seen it all. She's a symbol of Copenhagen's history, its connection to storytelling and its enduring charm. You see her there, gazing out at the water, and you can't help but feel a little something. Maybe it's nostalgia for the fairy tale. Maybe it's the sheer determination etched on her face. Or maybe it's the fact that she's still there after all these years. Whatever it is, trust me, seeing the Little Mermaid in person is something else.
Now, I know what you're thinking, Casey. It's just a statue, right? Wrong. There's a reason why people from all over the world make a beeline for this little lady. It's not just about snapping a quick selfie and moving on.
Taking the time to actually sit with the statue, to read the story engraved nearby, to let the whole scene wash over you, that's what makes it special. And let me tell you, the setting itself is pretty epic. We're talking about the harbor, the boats, the fresh sea air. It all adds to the atmosphere. Plus, let's be real. How often do you get to see a mythical creature chilling in its natural habitat? Okay, maybe not habitat, but you get what I'm saying. It's like a little slice of magic in the middle of the city. So yeah, The Little Mermaid is a must-see, no doubt.
Next up, we're diving into some serious history, guys. We're talking about Rosenborg Castle, a masterpiece of Dutch Renaissance architecture that's like stepping straight into a royal fairy tale. This place has seen it all, coronations, celebrations, you name it. It's been the backdrop to some of Denmark's most pivotal moments.
Built in the early 17th century, this castle was King Christian IV's baby, his masterpiece. This wasn't just some stuffy old fortress, though. Rosenborg was a place where the king could kick back, relax, and indulge his passions. And let me tell you, this king had style.
We're talking intricate details, lush gardens, and a sense of grandeur that just screams royalty. But don't think for a second that this is just some dusty old relic. Rosenborg is alive with history, and you can feel it the moment you step inside. Now, the real magic of Rosenborg lies within its walls. We're talking about the crown jewels, people. These aren't just any old trinkets, we're talking about priceless artifacts, sparkling crown scepters that scream power and enough diamonds to make your eyes water.
But it's not just about the bling, though. That certainly doesn't hurt. Each piece tells a story, a chapter in Denmark's royal history. You see the craftsmanship, the artistry, and you can't help but be transported back in time.
Wandering through the castle's chambers is like taking a crash course in Danish history, but way more interesting than any textbook. You've got portraits of kings and queens staring down at you, opulent furniture that makes you want to sit down and sip tea like you're royalty, and this tangible sense of the past that's just electric. Trust me, Rosenborg Castle, definitely worth adding to your Copenhagen itinerary. All right, guys, we're talking museums now. I know, museums aren't always everyone's cup of tea, but trust me on this one, the National Museum of Denmark is different. This place is like stepping into a time machine, seriously. You walk through these halls and you're surrounded by artifacts from Viking ships to ancient Egyptian tombs. It's mind-blowing.
They've got everything here from prehistoric tools to Renaissance art. You can literally trace the entire history of Denmark under one roof. And it's not just dusty old relics. They've got interactive exhibits, videos, all sorts of cool stuff to bring the past to life.
It's crazy to think about how much history has unfolded in this part of the world. And this museum does an incredible job of presenting it in a way that's both informative and engaging. You really get a sense of the people who lived here centuries ago, their struggles, their triumphs. It's all here.
One of the coolest things you'll see here is the sun chariot. This thing dates back to the Bronze Age, over 3,000 years old. It's this intricate sculpture of a horse pulling a sun disk, and it's thought to represent the journey of the sun across the sky.
And the story of how they found it is just as crazy as the object itself. Some farmers were out working in a field when they stumbled across this thing. Can you imagine? You're just ploughing your field and bam, you unearth a priceless artifact from the Bronze Age.
But it's not just the sun chariot, there are countless other treasures here. You've got Viking swords, medieval tapestries, royal crowns, you name it, they've probably got it. Seriously, if you're into history, archaeology, or just want to see some seriously cool stuff, the National Museum of Denmark is a must-see.
Okay guys, buckle up because we're about to enter a world of pure magic. I'm talking about Tivoli Gardens, Copenhagen's legendary amusement park. Imagine a place where whimsical architecture meets thrilling rides, delicious food, and live entertainment. That's Tivoli, and it's been enchanting visitors for over 175 years.
This place is like stepping into a fairy tale. You've got these lush gardens, twinkling lights and charming buildings all around you. It's romantic, it's nostalgic, it's just plain fun. Whether you're a kid or a kid at heart, Tivoli Gardens has something for everyone.
And the rides, man. They've got everything from classic roller coasters to more family-friendly carousels. But even if rides aren't your thing, there's so much to see and do. They have amazing restaurants, cafes, and food stalls serving up all sorts of deliciousness.
But Tivoli is more than just an amusement park, it's a cultural institution. They have concerts, theatrical performances, and all sorts of events happening throughout the year.
Now, if you're an adrenaline junkie like me, you've got to check out the Demon. This roller coaster will flip you upside down, twist you around, and leave you breathless.
But for a more laid-back experience, take a spin on the Ferris wheel. You get these incredible panoramic views of the city, especially at night when everything is all lit up. It's seriously magical.
And when you're ready to take a break from all the excitement, grab a bite to eat at one of Tivoli's many restaurants. They've got everything from traditional Danish fare to international cuisine. And make sure to try out a traditional Danish pastry. Trust me, your taste buds will thank you.
Tivoli Gardens is an experience you won't forget. It's a place where memories are made, so grab your friends, family, or that special someone and get ready for a day of pure fun and enchantment.
All right, guys, if you're a foodie like me, you know there's no better way to experience a city than through its food. And in Copenhagen, that means heading straight to Tivoli Market. This place is a sensory overload in the best possible way. Imagine 2 giant glass halls filled with row after row of fresh produce, artisan cheeses, cured meats, seafood, baked goods, you name it. It's like a food lover's dream come true. The smells alone are enough to make your stomach rumble. But Tivoli is more than just a market. It's a community gathering place. You've got locals doing their weekly shopping, chefs sourcing ingredients for their restaurants, and tourists like us soaking it all in. And the best part, you can sample almost everything. So grab a coffee, stroll through the aisles, and let your taste buds guide you. You can find all sorts of Danish specialties here. Make sure to try a smørrebrød, which is an open-faced sandwich piled high with delicious toppings. And if you're feeling adventurous, try the pickled herring. It might sound a little strange, but trust me, it's a Danish delicacy. But Torva Halern isn't just about Danish food. You can find flavors from all over the world here, from Spanish tapas to Vietnamese pho. So whether you're looking for a quick lunch, a gourmet meal, or just some delicious snacks to munch on, Torva Halern Market is a must-visit.
All right, guys, if you're anything like me, you love a good view. And in Copenhagen, there's no better place to get your panoramic fix than the Round Tower. Built back in the 1600s as an observatory. You're going to be walking up this thing, right? There are no stairs, just a wide spiraling ramp. It's a bit of a hike, but the view is worth every step. So make sure you bring your camera, because from the top you can see all of Copenhagen.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard about a tower with no stairs, I was skeptical. But this ramp, it kind of grows on you. And let me tell you, that view from the top? It's a knockout punch. You can walk around the entire circumference, getting a 360-degree view of the city. Just make sure your phone is charged, because you're going to be taking a ton of pictures.
All right, guys, let's talk about shopping. I know, I'm all about adventure and exploring, but sometimes you gotta treat yourself, right? And when it comes to shopping in Copenhagen, Strøget is the place to be. This isn't just any street, people. It's a pedestrian paradise, a shopper's dream, a mile-long stretch of stores, cafes, and all-around good vibes. We're talking high-end boutiques, independent designers, vintage shops, you name it, Strøget's got it. Now, even if you're not a big shopper, and let's be real, I'm more of a window shopper myself, Strøget is still worth a visit. The energy here is contagious, with street performers, musicians, and artists adding to the lively atmosphere. You can grab a coffee, people watch, and soak up the Copenhagen cool. And hey, if you do find yourself with some extra kroner burning a hole in your pocket, well, you're in the right place. From Danish design classics to quirky souvenirs, there's something for everyone on Strøget. Just be prepared to walk a lot. Your feet might get tired, but your wallet might get a little lighter too.
One of the things I love about Strøget is that it's not just about the shopping. It's about the experience. It's about strolling down the cobblestone streets, soaking up the atmosphere, and stumbling upon hidden gems. You might catch a street performer juggling chainsaws or a group of musicians playing traditional Danish music. And then there are the cafes. Oh man, the cafes. You can find anything from cozy little spots tucked away in side streets to trendy cafes with outdoor seating right in the heart of the action. Grab a pastry, sip on some coffee, and watch the world go by. And if you're lucky, you might even stumble upon one of Copenhagen's famous street markets. These pop-up markets offer a chance to find unique, locally made goods, from handmade jewelry to vintage clothing. It's a treasure trove of one-of-a-kind finds. So whether you're a shopaholic or just looking for a taste of Copenhagen life, make sure you add Strøget to your list. It's a vibrant, exciting, and surprisingly delicious experience that you won't want to miss.
All right, guys, get ready to be transported to a postcard because Nyhavn is straight out of a fairy tale. This is the quintessential Copenhagen scene. Colorful buildings lining a picturesque canal, boats bobbing gently on the water, and a lively atmosphere that just screams good times. Seriously, this place is so charming it almost feels unreal. It's like walking onto a movie set, except it's even better because you can grab a beer and soak it all in. Built in the 1670s, Nyhavn was once a bustling commercial hub, but these days it's all about enjoying the good life.
And speaking of the good life, let's talk about those buildings for a second. Each one is painted a different color, creating this vibrant tapestry that's impossible not to love. You've got bright yellows, deep reds, cool blues, and everything in between. It's like a rainbow throughout, but in the best way possible.
Now I know what you're thinking. Casey, this place sounds expensive, and yeah, it can be. But even if you're on a budget, you can still enjoy the magic of Nyhavn. Take a walk along the canal, snap some photos, and soak up the atmosphere. Trust me, it's worth every penny.
One of the best things to do in Nyhavn is to grab a seat at one of the many restaurants and cafes that line the canal. Order a Danish pastry and a cup of coffee and just watch the world go by. It's the perfect way to relax and soak up the atmosphere.
The food and drinks here can be a little pricey, but you're paying for the experience. And trust me, the experience is worth it. The people watching here is top-notch.
If you're feeling adventurous, take a canal tour for a unique perspective on the city. Nyhavn is a place that will stay with you long after you've left. All right, guys, we're hitting number 9 on our Copenhagen adventure. And let me tell you, this one's a stunner. We're talking about the Copenhagen Opera House, a building so sleek, so modern, it looks like it was beamed straight out of the future.
I mean, seriously, this thing is a work of art. The first time I saw it, I was blown away. Glass, steel, curves. It's like the architects threw a party for everything cool about modern architecture and invited this building to be the guest of honor. And the location, right on the waterfront. You're telling me you can catch a world-class opera and then stroll along the harbor at sunset? Sign me up.
But here's the thing about this place. It's not just about looks. This opera house is a powerhouse of culture, hosting some of the biggest names in opera, ballet, you name it. They've got a packed schedule, always pushing the boundaries, always innovating. It's the kind of place that reminds you why art matters, why it's worth celebrating.
And speaking of celebrating, the vibe inside is electric. You've got people dressed to the nines, buzzing with anticipation. You can feel the energy in the air, the history, the passion.
It's contagious, man. You walk in there and you can't help but get swept up in the excitement.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Casey Opera? Isn't that a little fancy for you? But trust me, the Copenhagen Opera House is an experience.
Let yourself be blown away by the talent and creativity on display. Plus, even if opera isn't your jam, there's still plenty to see and do here.
And that's the thing about Copenhagen, you know? The Opera House is a testament to the city's commitment to art, culture, and awesome architecture. All right, we've reached the final stop on our Copenhagen adventure, and trust me, we're ending on a high note. We're talking about Nørrebro, a neighborhood that's basically the definition of cool. This is where the locals hang out, where the streets are alive with energy, where you can find some of the best food, drinks, and hidden gems in the entire city.
Forget your tourist traps, your crowded squares. Nørrebro is all about authenticity, about experiencing the real Copenhagen. Think independent boutiques, street art that'll blow your mind, and cafes buzzing with creative types.
This is a place where you can wander for hours, getting lost in the maze of streets, stumbling across vintage shops, record stores overflowing with vinyl, and cozy cafes tucked away down hidden alleys. It's a feast for the senses, a constant source of inspiration.
And the best part? This neighborhood is constantly evolving. Every time I come back, there's something new to discover, a new restaurant, a new gallery, a new piece of street art transforming a brick wall into a masterpiece. It's a place that never stops surprising you, never stops pushing boundaries.
Now, if you want to experience the real heart and soul of Nørrebro, you've got to grab a bite to eat. This neighborhood is a melting pot of cultures, and that's reflected in the food. We're talking everything from traditional Danish pastries to spicy Thai curries to mouth-watering falafel wraps.
One of my favorite things to do here is just wander around and follow my nose. The smells coming from these kitchens will make your stomach growl. And don't be afraid to try something new. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.
But Nørrebro is more than just food, guys. It's a community. You can feel it in the air, the sense of belonging, the way people connect with each other. Hang out in a park, strike up a conversation at a coffee shop, soak up the atmosphere at a local bar.
You'll quickly realize that this neighborhood is all about embracing life, celebrating diversity, and living in the moment. So if you're looking for an authentic Copenhagen experience, a place that's bursting with creativity, energy, and flavor, then Nørrebro is calling your name. Trust me, you won't regret it.
So there you have it, guys. My top 10 must-see attractions in Copenhagen. This city stole my heart, and I know it will steal yours too. From the fairy tale magic of The Little Mermaid to the vibrant streets of Nørrebro, Copenhagen has something for everyone. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more travel adventures. And don't forget to let me know in the comments below what your favourite Copenhagen experience was or what you're most excited to see when you visit. Until next time, keep exploring, keep discovering, and keep those travel dreams alive. Peace.